What's going on, guys? Name's Deco. A little bit different video that we're doing today. This channel is mainly just for whatever I want to post, but lately I've been doing a lot of 3D printing stuff. But I want to make a little video about this debacle going on with Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering as a total. If you haven't heard, recently there was a large ban across the Commander format done by the non Wizards of the Coast affiliated group called the Rules Council, which works on EDH, and they banned these three cards as well as Nadu Winged Wisdom. If you haven't known, I'm a big Magic the Gathering fan. I'm actually like with the 3D printing thing. I'm making deck boxes and stuff like that. So this is definitely a topic that I'm very adamant about. And these three cards I own these cards. These are real cards. They're the only ones that I own. I proxy all the rest for any other deck that I would use them in. Just because I believe if you have one card, you might as well have them all. I'm not one of those players who gatekeeps with you can't use proxies or you have to own the card. No, I believe if you want to play the game, you should be able to play the game, and money shouldn't be an objective. But there are topics that I do want to discuss to the 18 subscribers that I have and anyone else who watches this video. And I have my points over here, so if you can see me keep looking, that's what I'm looking at and reading. So on the 23rd, they decided to ban those three cards because they're too powerful, is what they stated. It didn't really make sense. A lot of people just immediately were like, "What the hell is going on?" So I'm going to go over these points. It's very weird that this happened. The Rules Committee, Jim, actually came out and stated that they've been directly talking with Wizards of the Coast for over a year on these bans. So that means that Wizards has known that these bans were coming for over a year. And that's pretty problematic when you have the company that makes all this stuff. They just want to make money. That's the whole point of a company, is to make money. And when you let them know that, hey, your largest format is about to have a major ban, yeah, that's pretty big. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, they developed the sets to cater to this ban, blah, 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 blah. I don't really think so. I don't think Commander Masters or those Dull Masters from last year or whatever, the year before, I don't think any of those were catered to try and dupe you out of money like a lot of people are saying. If you've noticed, Magic sets are usually made about a minimum of a year in advance. So Commander Masters, came out like 6 months ago or something. So that puts you at March of 2023. I doubt they knew back then. So I wouldn't say that. I don't believe that theory. But I do believe that Wizards of the Coast, they use that inside knowledge of the upcoming bans to really promote that Festival in the Box. They sold the Festival in the Box. They really highlighted that, oh, you can get this Last Caverns of Ixalan and Commander Masters collector boosters, and they have huge reprint chase cards to catch in them. And if you didn't know, that the Commander Masters has the textured foil jeweled Lotus, which was like $800, $900, something like that. And then you had in Lost Cavern Ixalan, you had the special guest Mana Crypts, which were bonkers, man. Some of them fetching up to $50,000-$75,000 each. So they promoted that with, hey, you're going to get these extra little collector boosters, and I feel like that was just a ploy to trying to get those people who are on the edge about buying the Festival box to buy the Festival in the box. They're like, oh, I could get these and I could get a jewel Lotus Mana Crypt craziness. And it allowed them to take collector booster stock from their warehouses that post ban is just going to sit there, because anyone who's cracking to try and get these fetch cards is not going to buy that anymore. So it was a way for them to dump it before and make money off of it. They just make money off of it. And I really do think that is what happened. It's all my opinion. Everything in this video is my opinion, other than what has been publicly stated. But even in the ban, where they went over why everything was banned, they said it was just too explosive for this casual Commander format, which is weird. But I'll get on that topic later. But they also stated that using their own criteria of which they used to ban these cards, they should also ban Sol Ring. There's a lot of talk about, oh well, Soul Ring's in every precon. You have to pay one to get Soul Ring. Blah 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 blah. Soul Ring was one of the earliest cards in the ABU, Alpha Beta Unlimited, that was banned because it's just so damn strong. Something that can come down for one and tap for two instantly is just very very powerful. And we've known about how strong this card has been since 1993, when it was, 1973, 1994, when it was originally banned, restricted, because it's just so damn good. We brought it in Commander because, hey, it's a good card and it's a fun card. If they didn't print it in every single deck, that card would probably be $50, $100. And they even stated that if we used our criteria to, cross analysis, that we would have banned that as well. But it was just some poor excuse for them to ignore the fact that they just left that card out, I think. And they stated the intent was not to hurt the CEH, the competitive side of Commander, which is a very struggling format because it's a big gateway to get into. It costs a lot. If you go to a tournament and can't use proxies, stuff like that, and it's really struggling to maintain its foothold, whereas things like Legacy are doing fine. And these pieces are actually like very common. Like Dockside is in every deck that's red, had a Dockside in it. Jewel Lotus was in every one or two colored commanders in CDH. Mana Crypt was in every CDH deck. And that's why these cards are so expensive. So they do have a lot of power to them, and supply and demand, because they only print so many, makes the value really high. And Nadu being banned, I can understand that. Nadu was a very broken card. Right when we seen it, we were like, whoa, this card is busted as hell. So I can see that. I can get with that. You can essentially draw your whole deck out on like turn 2. It's crazy in CDH what you can do with Nadu. Dockside, I can get it though. I understand. Dockside is always oppressive, especially like if in CDH you turboing out all your 0-drop artifacts and everything, and then the dude turbos out and drops a Dockside. Everyone just groans. It sucks, but it is what it is. I can get behind that. It eliminates a little power for the red, but whatever. And I'm a red player. Like that was my blue-red Vadric Astral Archmage CDH deck. Don't look it up because they don't exist. I made it myself and I pretty much never lost with it. Anyway, but Mana Crypt and Jewel Lotus, they don't make sense. They're pretty much useless in any other format. You can play Jewel Lotus in Legacy, but there's only a niche deck with doubling cube that makes it even worth it. Mana Crypt is pretty much banned in everything else because it's just so damn good. However, these cards are useless when you get to the mid or late game. If you don't draw them pretty much in your first 7, those cards are useless. You won't even use them. They'll be dead cards. With Jewel Lotus being very niche, it can only produce 3 of a single color of your commander. So if you have anything that's like 3 or above colors, Jewel Lotus isn't in the deck. It's not in a lot of CEH decks because it's just a junk card comparatively. And you would take a lot of other rocks over a Jewel Lotus in one of those decks. It was designed to be played in Commander. Jewel Lotus was designed to be played in Commander, the original Commander Legends. This ban makes this card useless. Sure, you can still play the Doubling Cube deck in Legacy, but even that's dead. So, literally, you just took a card that was the main selling point of 2 different sets and just threw it in the fucking bin because, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. They made a long statement on Twitter or whatever it is on their website, and they talked about like reasons of why they banned this, why they did that, whatever, and they stated that they're always looking for feedback for these bans, which was very funny. They used the Golos as an example, which yes, if you played while Golos was an actual card, it was very oppressive to play against. It's brutal. It was a brutal card to play against, and that was a good job on them for banning that. I can get behind that. You'd face a Golos deck. Everybody in CDH pretty much had a Golos deck. It was just so annoying to play against. But they say they're looking for feedback from all players, and literally everyone in the CDH and the regular casual community. I'm going to be referring to them as 2 different communities because they really are. Like you can't really mix them too well. Just for the play styles are different. The decks are built differently. It's just different. Um, Everyone's been asking for Thassa's Oracle to get removed. Everyone in CDH hates it. Everyone in EDH hates it. It's just a cheap win con that can just be fired off with one card and then another card, and you just exile your whole library and win. And there's a lot of different ways to combo it, and everyone just is so tired of playing against it and they hate it. But they didn't look at that. That wasn't under their suggestion. I know people have been suggesting it because for the past few years it's just been miserable to play against. But no, they skipped right over that. They completely ignored the entire Thassa's Oracle thing and then went for these cards that I've never really heard anybody complain about a Jewel Lotus Mana Crypt. I really haven't. I've heard Dockside. I've complained about Dockside. Nadu, yes, absolutely. But these two mana rocks just don't make sense. So here's another interesting part is a TCG player actually updated their return policies the day that this happened. I'm pretty sure it was early morning or maybe the night before. And they pretty much just said, hey, if you bought them, there's no return. And that was just a very scummy practice on TCG players' side. I can't believe that they would put that up there and pretty much just screw over anyone who maybe bought one or whatever at a higher price, so now they can't return it and they're just getting boned. And that's ridiculous, and that's a terrible practice for a company. I've always disliked TCG player. They have market manipulation going on constantly in there, and now they're doing no returns if you've got boned by the rules committee, and I think that's really fucked up. You have Jim from the Rules Council. He stated that only one person from the Rules Council actually objected to this vote. So if you are out there and you are blaming Olivia from the Rules Council for this, you need to shut the hell up, because look, she's the only one that said no out of all of them, and you need to just leave her alone and put the hate towards the others because they deserve it. She doesn't. Another thing, they stated that they love feedback from the players. They love hearing everything. What was the first thing they did when they announced this? They closed the contact page on their website. They don't want to hear from you. They want you to just accept it and just take it on the chin, and I think that's just bullshit. It's just a clear that they were just too scared because they made this large decision, and it's just trash. I don't like it. I would say going forward that the rules committee needs to step down. This is blatantly a bad decision, and they have directly impacted the entire game and market with this decision. And I own these cards. I lose money, but I don't care. Like, whatever. They're just pieces of card play material for me. I wish I still had them for CDH, but I don't care that I lost money. What I care about is WotC made probably millions off of this, and they knew it was coming, but they still exploited the users into getting duped for this. And then you have a lot of people are showing hate towards LGSs. LGSs aren't responsible for this. They don't know anything. They just sell the product, dude. And it's just ridiculous that people are putting blame on the LGSs. There's a lot of them online that have been like taking returns for any Mana Crypts or Jewel Lotuses that you bought within like 3 weeks if you have a receipt or something. And that's, hey, fucking hats off to those guys. LGSs don't make, especially small ones, they don't make a whole lot. So this kind of thing is very impactful, for these guys. I think going forward that what they need to do is they need to make a separate ban list. There needs to be a ban list for EDH casual, and then there needs to be the competitive CDH style ban list, and with these cards back on it, because this is ridiculous. There's quite a lot of talk in the community talking about, hey, well, you can rule zero it back in. Yes, you absolutely can rule zero it, which they also took the rule zero information off their website as well, which is weirdly interesting. Yes, and you can rule zero back in, but you could have rule zeroed it out, not banned it officially, and you wouldn't have just tanked the market. And it's so weird that people would say, oh, well, you can rule zero back in, but they like don't understand that you can rule zero out too. You don't have to play with those cards. And when it would have prevented all this hardship that's going on in the community, it's really just blown the whole Magic community apart. There's people ripping up Mana Crypts and setting Jewel Lotuses on fire, and it's just freaking crazy. And this is all because these guys just want a more casual Commander environment, I believe. I would even label them as Timmies with this decision, because it just shows that they just want, big dumb creatures, slow. You want fucking 15 turn games, yeah, hour and a half. No, nobody. I don't want that. I'll play a 45-minute game. I'll play a 15-minute CDH game, but I'm not playing hour and a half commander game. Like, it's just snooze fest. But that was my little critique on it. I'll probably add some more in the comments as I think about it. But I appreciate you guys checking it out, and I'll check you on the next one later.